I'm telling you.
I'm trying to rush him back.
Congratulations on the bowl and bash.
Thank you.
In between our guys throwing out first pitches this summer and then seeing the photos, I mean, we got some weird-looking athletes on our team. I'm glad they can play basketball.
Yes.
But man, some of these guys, how does Wayne Sullivan look so weird bowling a bowling ball? It should be a relatively natural thing.
Yeah, I thought he was an athlete. I'm not sure. He just might be a basketball player. Yeah.
This looked like a great summer for you, right?
It was busy. A lot of basketball, a lot of traveling to work out in different places and be around different guys, different teammates. So really enjoyed it, and looking forward to the year.
I know I'm going to let you have the floor because I know the first question you want to ask, man. I mean, everybody's asking them the same thing. What was it like hanging out with Kanye?
Oh, no, I know they're best friends, right? You guys are like best friends.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it all media day. So go ahead, let the man have the floor.
What's his name? Who is it? Who told us that's all he's been blaring? Baldwin?
Oh, yeah.
Baldwin said he's listening to Cool Summer because
nonstop
all you're playing in the practice.
Yeah. We don't listen to anything else if I'm in there. So Kanye's the man.
I love this.
He's great. He was fun to be around. I was around him a couple times this summer, and
how does this happen?
Exactly. I don't know. He just called. He called me
out of nowhere. And said
me.
What?
Man, he was just like, I really admire you, and
did you say
one
why?
of my favorite players. No, I just kept quiet. I just listened and let him talk, and then he's like, yeah, when you're in town, just hit me up, and I want to, hang out, whatever, come by the studio. I was like, all right, so I went out there a few times and got to know him a little bit, and it was pretty cool.
Did you think when the call first came in, did you think you were being pranked? Did you know it was him, or you?
Well,
were you prepped that he was coming?
I had kind of got prepped a little bit. I got a text message from one of my guys out in L.A. It was like, Kanye's about to call you, and that's when I looked at my phone. I was like, what? And it was like 12:30 at night, in Ohio. So I'm like, all right. So
and your wife's like, what in the hell?
I hop up really quick, like I gotta take this call, So
it's like, I mean, it's either what the hell or oh God, something's wrong, right?
Right.
But no, now you can just say it's Kanye.
Yeah, it was just
Kanye. Just Kanye.
One of the things I heard you on the radio locally here last week talking about that, and what stood out in that interview was you said just the process of seeing a genius at work in the studio, locked in. You know what that's like being in a basketball. You spent All-Star Weekend last year, locked into the gym, no one else around.
Right.
What is that process like, and can anyone else just understand? I mean, do you think people sort of not get a clear picture of that?
Yeah, I didn't have a true clear picture of it until I got to witness, what he does in a different, atmosphere.
Right.
Just watching his ability to create and make music, do his fashion, do his shoes, his clothes, all that stuff all in one setting is like, how hard is that to do? You don't know until you see it, and people won't understand the work we put into basketball, the dedication we have, the how you lose yourself in your craft. And that was something that, I got to really, really see. And that stuck with me. And I've been, ever since then, I'll send him text messages to me in the gym. I'm in the gym right now. Like that, it inspired me in a different way. So it's unbelievable.
Had to have lobbied to get in a song.
I didn't say anything about it. I didn't want to get in a song. I wanted to have a verse. You know what I mean? I wanted to be.
Oh, you want to be in it?
You wanted to spit bars, is what you're saying.
Let's slow down.
You want to spit bars?
Just have him shout you out. That's
it.
This is. Listen. We're talking about the fun stuff this summer. But it's got to become a reality to you to show back up at this facility and be like, yo, this is different.
Yeah,
right?
It's unbelievable. Just like the change, the transition, all the things that we're going through it right now as a team, even as an organization. I mean, we come back in the locker room, it's different. We've got a new weight room, and everything is just foreign in a sense when you come back because you're not used to seeing the same faces around. And but it's something that we've been here a long time, and we knew that at some point transition was going to have to happen, and guys were going to be in and out. We can't keep everybody forever, so for guys like me and Mark, we just have to be ready to face the challenge.
And how different do you have to be? Because one of the things Mark said when he's sitting with us, he's like, I'll paraphrase, but it's basically we ain't got time. Right? Like with the age you are, the age Mike, Mark, you and Mark are, kind of both prime years right now, and it's like we don't have time for these young guys to not. We want to be good now, and so do you feel like you need to be more demonstrative towards these guys because of that.
Well, of course, I think that both Mark and I would be more demanding probably than we've ever been of our teammates, just because we want them to feel how we feel, the urgency, the sense of urgency that we have, because, you know, our years, we're 29, 30, they're 19, 20, 21, so they have time, you know, to figure it out, and they have time to have a long career, but we're right in our prime position, and we want to, you know, take advantage of it now.
Mike, was that part of the sort of par for the course, because you had gone through sort of a psychological change in terms of leadership and being more vocal, and Fizz put a lot of demands on you from that standpoint. Does this feel like just the next step in that? Your game sort of evolved as well. You became more of a dominant scorer and facilitator too. Is this just par for the course in terms of taking the next step naturally?
I think so. It's part of the process. You know, every year it seems like I've had, whether it's a basketball transition, a change on the court or off the court, it's something I've had to build up to, something I've had to, you know, set my goals and change my summers to you know, position myself for that. So this summer it was different than last summer in the sense that it's about, you know, being a different kind of leader for the team, being, you know, like I said, demanding, and, you know, staying angry and staying, you know, focused on that end. And that's something that I did 2 summers ago coming in, because I was angry about all the contract stuff and people talking, and I was just constantly just grinding. But now it's even more so about this team and just, you know, trying to position myself to help us as much as I can.
What do you think about the way the West has sort of changed? And it seems like everyone that's ever been an All-Star is in the West now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the competition night in and night out is going to be probably crazier than it's ever been since you've been in the league.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, it's actually exciting to know that we have such a strong conference. You know, it'll make it that much more gratifying when I do make the All-Star team. So, you know, it's unbelievable the talent we have in this league, especially in the Western Conference. And the Eastern Conference still has talents, but, you know, the West is just so loaded, and it'll be a fun, competitive year.
You have not been bashful about talking about that. Like that bothered you last year, not being honored by making the All-Star team. And like immediately, I remember when that whole weekend was going on, you were like posting pictures in the gym like next year.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. It hurts. You know, it hurts because you put so much into this game, and unfortunately for today's, you know, general public, they almost grade you by what your accolades are. And if you aren't an All-Star, you don't matter, you know, kind of in a sense, and you're not on the same level as certain people. So I hear all that, and that's what's frustrating, is because I know I work just as hard as these guys, if not harder, and I just try to go out there and prove it every night.
Well, the other thing is like the team's won for like 7 straight years, right? Like you win every year. Like it's not like you're on losing teams.
Yeah, we've been in the playoffs for what, like 7 straight.
And that's usually the
so.
thing, right? That's step one is be on a winning team.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was for me mostly over that 7, 8 year stretch. Was I always thought it was, you know, the reason why you're not making it is because your team isn't winning. But we continued to win. We continued to get better, and I got better, and you know, just everything seemed like it would fit, but unfortunately it had.
So who do we get to be the muscle? Is it Tyreek? Like, I mean, I'm saying now that Zebo and Tony aren't gone, somebody needs to be slapped upside the head.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean figuratively. Right? Like we gotta. I mean, can you fight?
Well, you know, I haven't
There's always that risk with them around.
Yeah, you know, I don't like to get fined. I don't like to lose anything. You know, so I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, we have to recruit a couple guys. Yeah,
Tyreek looked like he could.
Tyreek, I'll fight Tyreek. He beat me in a shooting drill the other day.
He
so
did?
look at him. Yeah. So I'm gonna shout him out.
Oh wow!
So I'm shouting him out. But
I was telling Ennis earlier. I said, "Well, I hate to see Troy leave." I was like, "But I remember that board."
Oh yeah.
Now that Troy's gone, that's up for grabs.
It's my board.
Your board.
It's my board.
Sounds like it's Tyreek's board.
It was only for last Friday. It was.
Okay. What was the most fun thing? We joked about the Kanye stuff. What was the most fun thing you got to do this summer?
Most fun thing I got to do this summer. Gosh, we did so much. We went to Hawaii for a wedding. For one of my guys got married, so that was pretty cool. Obviously, hanging out with Kanye, got to spend a lot of time with my son, my family, at home. So I mean, it really was a all around just productive and good summer.
And the son can talk now, right?
Man, he's talking, running around.
It's a different world.
Yeah, it's scary now.
Man.
It's pretty scary. Yeah, it's pretty scary. So we're making it. We're playing like zone defense on him. Just I'll sit at one side of the hall. She'll sit at the other, and just let him tear up in between. You know.
That's the way that it will.
Oh man, well Mike, thanks a lot, man.
Right.
Looking forward to seeing you out there tomorrow.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it. Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
get back at you next bowling bash.
All right.
I'll let you get this one back.
Man, I
took this one
appreciate it.
off.
I've actually bowled pretty well too.
What was the high?
201, I think. So I got up there. Yeah.
If it says 2 in front,
Yeah,
you did
yeah.
bowl good. Wow.
All right, thanks, man.